Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. So in this one I want to show you how easy it is to take a stencil that you've got and kind of bend it to your will, make it work for you. So I'm going to be using an image from one of Natalie May's collage papers, but obviously if you haven't got this collage paper, you could easily recreate this journal page using your favourite face stamp or even one of Dina's bears. Doesn't really matter what your focal point is in the middle. And then I'm going to be using my two-layer mandala stencil that I designed for Natalie when I went over to Australia. So this has two layers to it, and you can kind of work it into your journal page using the layers interchangeably. So I'm sticking my image in the middle, and then I'm going to go in with the layer that's got the biggest holes in it. So this is kind of like your first pass really. And what I want to do here is use lots of warm colours, building out into kind of like a bit of a rainbowy idea. Surprise, surprise. Now you can see the stencil doesn't reach all the way to the bottom of the page. I'm going to show you how easy it is to kind of make that work for you. So I've gone in, I think that might be rouge that I've started off with. That first arc I'm just going to pull down using a paintbrush, nice and easy. Then I'm popping the stencil back and I'm going to fill in the spaces around the image, between the image and the first arc, and then that is, excuse me, that's raspberry that I'm using there. And here I'm just going to go in with my paintbrush and just paint a couple of circles, kind of pull out those marks that are already there. And you can see that's super easy. I'm just using the brush, letting it do the work and kind of twisting it round, and it makes great circles. It's really easy to do. I'm just going to pull those all the way down to the bottom, and they are going to overlap over my image, but that's okay. I kind of just want her there as like a small focal point, because the main focus of this is going to be the arcs of colour, and then I'm going to put my words into those as well. So again, popping the stencil back, going in with a different colour. So this is ruby now, and here you can see I'm doing those scallop shapes. And obviously, again, these aren't going to reach all the way to the bottom of my page, but by just twisting the stencil round and moving it, lining it up, I can then take those shapes all the way down to the bottom of my page. So I carry on following that process really with all the layers of the stencil. So now I'm working on this sort of heart and leaf pattern that I've got going on. Little tip, because this stencil has got, the first layer has got some quite fine details in, it's really important not to have too much paint on your tool, whatever it is that you're using, whether that's a blending foam or a sponge, because it will seep underneath the stencil if you're not careful. I mean, obviously it's not the end of the world because we can go in with some outlining and mark making and kind of pull those features back out, but it's easier if you don't have too much paint. Less is more in this case. This is mustard, and here I'm just going in with the next arc, and here you can see I'm then just positioning the stencil round so I can pull that again down to the bottom of my page. You can kind of see where this is going. So I've reached the end of my stencil, and now these top two corners of my page I'm going with Watery, which is this beautiful pale blue that Dina released recently. It is a lovely, lovely colour. I'm popping some of that on my page, and then once that's in those corners, I think I actually then go in and just add a little bit of that into some of the gaps in between the stenciling. Yeah, nice and easy. Not worrying about being too precise because it really doesn't matter at all. We can go in with marks and pens and add more details and kind of build up those layers of interest. So here I'm just using a Stabilo oil pencil and just outlining that figure. I just want to pull her forwards a little bit, and by adding that black outline, that's going to do that for me. So now I am using a white gel pen and I'm just going in, adding some loose lines around the shapes. Now, there must still be some dampness left in the paint because my gel pen is being a bit temperamental. Um, Sometimes these Signo Uniballs can be if they detect any dampness in the page. Um, they sound like a very scientific tool with saying that, but you know, they're just awkward sometimes. So just if you find that your gel pen or your Posca isn't working particularly well, give your page a really good dry or set it aside and come back to it later. And you'll probably find that your pen will work really nicely. So now I'm just going to start with the other part of my heart mandala stencil. And here I can start to stencil in some of the smaller features. So I have cut some of my oh my goodness, makeup sponges smaller. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, croaky voice today. Not only can I not think, I can't speak either. Um, so I've cut them a little bit smaller, which means I can get into some of these smaller detailed areas a little bit easier. And then I'm popping the stencil back on. I'm just going to do a bit of stamping through the stencil, just using a corner of my stamp. Sorry about my head, but I kind of wanted to show you this bit. It's a really, really cool technique for getting your stamping into a contained area, is to stamp through your stencil. Works really well. Yeah, and you can create a really cool look. So I've added some more stamping onto there. Now I'm going to go with my quote and I'm going to write it around the arches onto my page. And then some last bits of stamping onto my page as well, using my dot stamp. I've also used a couple of stamps from Darkroom Door just to finish it off and kind of pull that black right across my page as well, because the quote was quite dominating, and I just wanted to make it sit a bit more easily on my journal page by adding more black onto there. But I really like how this came together. I love how the arcs of the heart mandala stencil that you can get your hands on from Natalie May Scrapbooking. It's a really nice one to add into your stash. I love how it works. And then did a little bit of scribbly writing on there as well, a little bit of asemic journaling. And there we go. There's the finished page. So think outside the box with your stencils. Think about how you can make them work for you to do the things that maybe they don't look like they're designed for, by twisting and turning them and extending them onto your page. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.